Hello and welcome to this edition of LifeTalk News Response to Mark Crutcher's need for suggestions from viewers of Life Dynamics Incorporated's LifeTalk News. I'm one of those that's from Lowell, and I'm very much into stand True Ministries. This is what Ryan Kemper, I think his name is Ryan or Ron Kemper. Well, I hope I didn't get that wrong. But anyway, this is one of his uh, bumper stickers that he developed, and it actually has drawn some interest from people that I've had it on my car, and I've got it on my one of my notebooks for school at ITT Tech in Wyoming, Michigan. And so it's done some good, and so that's one person I would think that for LifeTalk you may want to have on as a very interesting guest. All right, more on what you can do to either improve or keep the same on your programming is something I've got here where it says illustrations during the news segment. Where you have states, the states of the union, where the news is happening, like you do the regular map during interviews, you could put an illustration over the shoulder of your newscaster, states of where those stories are coming from, or some other graphics that you may want to use, like something that would say, this is more news on the pro-choice violence that's happening. And then for my next little thing here, it's I need to just say that overall we need some help. What can you tell us on how to convince people to vote pro-life? Mark, you told us about how it is very easy for people to say things about how they should be pro-choice, and that it is very difficult for us to do what we can to convince people to vote pro-life. And then, something about your way of doing things on screen while you're discussing things. I think 4 guests at a table is great. I'd avoid the two-headed monster syndrome where you have people sharing news or anything like that. I think that you're doing fine with the news coming on at first and then doing some discussions. But perhaps, Mark, you could try to segment your things about what's going on in the pro-death world or pro-life world, and give your guests at the table a little more opportunity to interact with you when it comes to your particular news things that you have that you bring offline or have brought to the table. Then I would like to have more interviews be shown. That would be done in the can and then shown later, of course, with a promotion as to who it is, an introduction to the news segment, and then go from there. And these interviews could be from people that are out in the field, like a Kristen Hawkins, who could be doing an interview with her Students for Life of America folks, and then could be shown on LifeTalk. All right, next I've got where I'm saying when you do have illustrations, when you bring them up on screen, excuse me, put them up in an established form for a little bit longer, like the Ginger Snaps fundraiser promotion that was for Planned Parenthood. You had an established shot. Keep that up on screen, especially since she had that thing on her stomach that we could have all had seen instead of turning back to find out what was that on that person's stomach. And here it is, somebody who's always done that, where they say that their stomach is the property of the U.S. government, especially when they find that the U.S. government, when it doesn't do what it wants or doesn't allow for a person to have an abortion or a person not to be able to use contraception, suddenly people like these folks want to put that on their stomach, that suddenly now their stomach is U.S. government property. Anyhow, then, I've got another one here. Oh, yes, where your products. Many of your products, like the Lyme 5, Lyme 5 book, your Mahava 21 video or DVD, and then the Pregnancy Resource Center's abortion DVD. Those materials, I think you could put those, like your Lyme 5 books, on a shelf behind you, or at least put those in hand and say, hey, this is what we still have, and reiterate what it is, what you've already told us about how that Mahava 21 is now available in a form where you can get more of them and be able to distribute more of them in the format that you have them, in more of an envelope form rather than a standalone form that you can put up on your shelf. All right, next up, I suggest that you can use a great resource would be Carl Anderson of the Knights of Columbus. He's the Grand Knight. He's done quite well on writing books, perhaps some other people who have written books on the pro-life cause and the religious freedom cause. Carl Anderson is one of those, and perhaps you can find if there's a way to either interview him or have some excerpts of what he's saying put up on LifeTalk, because he's really been very good at articulating what needs to be said about the pro-life and the pro-religious freedom cause that's happening here in America. All right. Oh, and then the 40 Days for Life campaign. I think that needs to be addressed and brought to bear. I was surprised that there wasn't a promotion for the 40 Days for Life campaign coming up, I believe, beginning in September, and I believe it's the third or fourth week in September that it starts. I would like to see more emphasis on that particular campaign, since that's been very effective, and it's been expanding over the years since it first began. I think in 19 or some odd year, I forget. But anyhow, that's that's one of the things I'd like to see more of. And then finally, I would like to see the Pro-Life 101 video segment either brought back, if it's not already, if it hasn't been taken away from LifeTalk. I'd like to see that segment still continue and also be put on YouTube as a standalone product, so that those of us who would like to share the pro-life cause and what it's all about, and that we're not a bunch of hate-mongering individuals, and get people, have them be clear on what it is, what we stand for, then we could share that on Facebook or other types of things. For me, it's Facebook. So that's all I have, except that, you know, as I started, I think Ron Kemper of Stand True Ministries has done a good job, because this did have an effect on somebody who is a part of my team at ITT Tech in the what do they call it, Network Systems Administration. He said he actually took a picture of this while it was sitting in my book bag, because I've got my notebooks sitting up, and this is on the end piece or the binder of my whatever, the binder that I have, the binder of the binder. Anyway, so it has great effect, and I'm finding there are more people, especially in this area, that are pro-life, and I just try to keep emphasizing that we can't back down, that we've got to fight the good fight, and got to do what we have to vote pro-life, and not let anyone stop us from doing what we can, as long as we can. But you know, we do have to keep in mind that free speech may not be free speech for much longer. We've got to keep up the good fight. And also, I believe that we have to do some exposés on the candidates, and that's about all I've got, except to say praise God that you, Mark Crutcher, and your team at LifeTalk are doing a great job, and overall from Life Dynamics Incorporated and your website prolifeamerica.com. and all of those other organizations that are out there that Johnny Hunter and Troy Newman have to try to make sure that people are very well aware of what it is what we're trying to do as pro-life citizens of these United States. So that's all I have, and thank you for your time. Sorry I went a little bit long, but hopefully everything that I've said or suggested will, have some effect on what it is, what you're doing. But all in all, just saying that you're doing a wonderful bang-up job, and that's all I can say. Take care.